Every now and then, we all wonder who the world's wealthiest individuals are. While not all forms of happiness can be bought with the swipe of a credit card, it's still nice to know who exactly is running this world. Who are the high net worth individuals that influence industries? The shakers, the 0.1%ers, the biggest billionaires of our planet. In the vein of uneven distribution, here are the 10 richest people on Earth today. Number 10. Mark Zuckerberg. He really doesn't require much of an introduction. Who doesn't know Marky Zuckerberg? And if you don't, wait until Meta takes off and your smart fridge begins sounding like your friendly neighborhood millionaire. Zuckerberg's income is primarily derived from his Facebook stock. Yeah, it's shocking. Being the creator and CEO of Facebook has given him a total value of $123 billion. Facebook Incorporated, or Meta, has just undergone a rebranding, apparently as a result of everybody memeing on them for over 10 years. In 2004, Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook, which began a long history of odd titles. In addition to becoming the CEO of Facebook, Zuckerberg enjoys giving. He possessed over 400 million shares in the corporation, giving him 58% of voting power. So any issue you're having with Facebook is all due to Mark. Mark devotes his time to his wife, Priscilla Chan, and their 2 kids in one of his many houses. And of course, the cosmos is frightening. Number 9. Bernard Arnault. Bernard Arnault was the world's richest person for just a few months in 2021. But Bernard Arnault is still king of luxury by a long shot. With a net worth of $148 billion, he is the wealthiest individual in France, Europe, and the entire fashion industry. Despite holding the title of wealthiest person on Earth 3 times, not many people have been talking about our buddy Arnault. The man has his hands in all kinds of pies. First and foremost, he is the CEO of the company LVMH that includes over 70 brands the likes of Louis Vuitton and Sephora. Bernard sells luxury items such as designer wines, watches, fragrance, makeup, and even pastries. That's correct, the pie analogy used was no joke. On a typical day, Bernard is either running the family company along his 4 children, Frederick, Delphine, Antoine, and Alexander, or relaxing aboard his $150 million 333-meter mega yacht, the Symphony. Number 8. Jeff Bezos. Formerly the wealthiest person on the planet in 2021, Bezos fell a few spots, but now he's back on top with a net worth of $195 billion. There's even speculation he will be the world's next trillionaire. And being the founder, CEO, president, and chairperson of a little-known company called Amazon.com, we can totally see that prediction coming true. The corporation has expanded significantly in recent years due to people's growing desire to remain at home and alone. Despite his divorce from ex-wife Mackenzie Scott back in 2019, he still owns roughly 55 million Amazon shares. His divorce may have put him back a few $1 billion, according to a settlement that reduced his net worth to $114 billion, but it only took a good few years for old Jeffrey to bounce back. He's also just launched himself into space on a rocket created by Blue Origin. Despite many individuals signing a petition asking him to not return, Bezos' own rocket firm failed to delight his devoted consumers. Whenever Bezos is not always partying with his new girlfriend, he's fighting Zuckerberg and Bernard for the position of world's biggest billionaire. Number 7. Steve Ballmer. With a net worth of $107 billion, Steve Ballmer is yet another extremely wealthy personality of this planet. He's an American businessman, investor, and former CEO of another well-known company called Microsoft. Working side by side with Bill Gates certainly has its perks. Steve found his way to billionaire status thanks to his 333.3 million shares of Microsoft stock and his 14 years as CEO of Microsoft. He's also a big basketball fan, so much that he ultimately got sick of cursing out the coaches from behind his TV and bought himself his own team. Yep, Steve apparently purchased the Los Angeles Clippers for $2 billion back in 2014 so he could shout in person. These days, Steve spends his time with his wife, Connie Snyder, and his 3 children, most likely playing basketball. Next up at number 6, we have Warren Buffett. Also known as the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett sits on our list with a net worth of $108 billion. Warren Buffett is one of the most successful and prolific investors in history. He is the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, which controls over 60 businesses ranging from battery manufacturing to restaurants. Buffett is well known for being a seemingly modest billionaire who avoids buying the latest sports vehicles or living in the grandest mega mansions. Instead, he spends billions of dollars sparingly purchasing firms and investing in new ventures. Buffett is also known for his charitable work, having pledged to donate over 99% of his wealth to charity, and so far he has ended up giving away more than $45 billion, mostly to the Gates Foundation and his children's foundations. The man's charitability doesn't end there. In 2010, he and Bill Gates launched the Giving Pledge, which asked billionaires to dedicate at least half of their wealth to charitable causes. The promise has attracted a large number of wealthy individuals, including billionaires such as Elon Musk and Larry Ellison. These days, Buffett still lives in the same residence in Omaha, Nebraska that he bought back in 1958 for $31,500. Talk about a good investment! Number 5. Serge Brin. Serge Brin is one of the famous brains behind the great company Google, who also happens to own YouTube, which is where you're watching this video right now. Serge Brin is the co-founder, former president, controller, shareholder, and now board member of Google. Serge's resume is lengthy, but it pales in comparison to his financial account. Serge is worth $120 billion. Outside of Google, Brin uses his billions of dollars to work on a few side projects. Together with Google co-founder Larry Page, they are attempting to assist in the resolution of the world's climate and energy issues. The two are engaging in offshore wind power and far more efficient energy autos. And like seemingly every other billionaire these days, Brin too joins the space race. He has invested $4.5 million in a company called Space Experiences, a Virginia-based space tourism firm that has so far sent at least 7 visitors above the atmosphere. Number 4. Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison is the Oracle of Silicon Valley. With a net worth of $122 billion, Larry amassed his fortune as the CEO and founder of Oracle, a small computer firm best known for its software products and services like JavaScript. Larry was temporarily the wealthiest man in the world until grabbing the coveted position of 8th richest man in the world with a net worth of $98 billion. He was also the highest paid CEO in the world at various periods, with a salary of up to $90 million a year. By billionaire standards, Larry Ellison's story is rather remarkable. He was adopted as a toddler after being born in New York City and later grew up in a middle-class Chicago area on the South Side. After dropping out of 2 institutions, he found himself working in the computer field, which encouraged him to design Oracle, a software that was effective enough to contend with Sybase and Microsoft SQL Server. Ellison now lives in his own personal Hawaiian island, Lanai, which he bought for in its entirety for $300 million. He's also on the Tesla board of directors after acquiring $3 million of Tesla shares. Number 3. Larry Page. Larry Page is another Googler who helped co-found the company in 1998 with Serge Brin. For a time, he was just the CEO of Google, also officially listed as the Alphabet Company. Larry Page attended Stanford University, where he first met his Google co-founder, Serge Brin, and the two collaborated to create Google's search ranking algorithm, which helped propel the website to the giant it is today. Eventually, Larry's net worth grew to $125 billion. Although Larry's personal wealth is not only derived from his affiliation with Google, he too does not want to be left behind in the billionaire space race. He is a founding stakeholder in the Planetary Resources Space Exploration Corporation. He's also a backer of Kitty Hawk and opener to flying automobile companies. Because if you can't own outer space, you can always try and own the skies. When Larry isn't acquiring information on you, he may be found writing about in his Tesla X or relaxing on his 193-foot super yacht. Number 2. Bill Gates. This wouldn't be a richest person list without the man who has managed to remain among the top 5 wealthiest individuals worldwide for the longest time. Bill Gates. Bill is an American entrepreneur, software developer, and investor. More importantly, he's the co-founder, and CEO of Microsoft. Despite taking a hit from the rise of trendy Apple consumers, Bill Gates is still going strong with a fortune of $138 billion that continues to rise despite his many charitable activities. Despite recently standing down as Microsoft's CEO, Gates continues to pursue various corporate and humanitarian projects, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation being the most famous among them. When Bill isn't attempting to give up all of his money to charity, he appears in a variety of conspiracy videos that can be seen across the web. And now we are down to our number 1, Elon Musk. With a staggering total wealth of $1 trillion, he is the world's wealthiest individual. I'm simply kidding. Musk has a net worth of $283 billion, which puts him about $100 billion ahead of the second richest man, Jeff Bezos. Musk was born in South Africa and raised in Canada. He's a businessman, entrepreneur, and investor. And given the number of appearances he's had, Musk's long list of job titles might as well include actor. Musk's first company, Zip2 Corporations, which provided a searchable business directory that could be described as an internet version of the Yellow Pages telephone directory with maps included. He later auctioned it for $307 million in cash and $34 million in capital options when he was just 27 years old. After that, he co-founded X.com, which led to the formation of PayPal, which was later auctioned to eBay for $1.5 billion in stock. He is now the CEO of SpaceX, which, in genuine Elon Musk manner, he successfully turned into a $74 billion company that puts Tesla at the forefront. To no surprise, Musk is too involved in the space race, but commercial space travel has just yet to take off, so let's not get beyond ourselves just yet. Alright, which of these billionaires would win in their space race? Let us know in the comments below if you enjoy lists like these. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Mr. Exclusive, and we'll see you in the next one.